There's this big gigantic couch and every subscriber is sitting on it and we're just like watching TV together and hanging out, and I want that to feel this way. Hey buddy. Right. Yes, I know this is adorable. It's like the perfect size of coffee that I need right now. Me and Junie like to share. So there was some concern over Junie's health and well-being and safety on the table. So we have moved him to here for now, for the time being. And you know what? It's a little dark. I'll give you the goodness. And the reason I turned that off was because my Pamelite, is back there, and it was just like, I don't think you can read it. I feel like it's all washed out. When I get the new camera going, you're going to see all the goodness. So today we have something from Abigail. Something from Abigail. I think... do I want to guess? I feel like it's a guitar. No. Okay. So it looks like we have a letter here. We have a letter. Oh, how cool is that? Look at this. This is from Abigail. And we know who that is. Look at that, Junie. That's you, buddy. Blue hair and everything. I'm going to be taking so much stuff with me to work. It's going to be like show and tell every day. Oh, this is so cool. No. No worries. At least this planet has Namjoon. That's so cool. Oh man, you guys are too much. Stop. Oh, and we've got a letter here. Wow, this is a long letter. That's going to be for Roscoe. Abigail, thank you so much. That was so sweet. Man, you guys are too much. I told you, it's like every time, and it's not just the lights and the letters and the gifts. Like, I can't take this. Like, the family is growing, and the amount that you all share with me is magnificent. I go through the day and you know how you feel when you're really excited about something? You don't know why? I already explained this. I explained this when I was talking about BTS in whatever episode it was. It's just this feeling like you just can't explain it, but it's like you're always kind of happy. You always have something to look forward to. Well, I felt that way about BTS when I started kind of getting lost in it. But then I took that and then I upped it with you guys. There's just this whole family here, and I can't wait to get home every day so I can hang out with everybody on the couch. That's how it feels. Man, it's so cool, right? I love it. I love it. And I wasn't going to do a second video today. I did one yesterday, actually this morning was... What was it? Do You? Yeah, Do You. By you know who. That was a little rhyme, by the way. But today we got something else. So my question is for Lil Dude, Elliot, are you ready for this? This is outro tier. This is a live performance. So, now, I've been told we're doing Rapline this week. We did the individuals. Now we've got a collective effort. And as much as I'm not a fan of this right here, I'm going to try these, okay? Now, I've had these. I didn't purchase them just for this, right? But there's a lot of people saying that the music that I'm watching just sounds terrible. And I know. So I'm trying this first to see if this will help. Now, I'm not going to go full gamer mode. Man, I look good. Don't I? Not so much. Oh, did you see her? Did you see her? That is my Annie. It doesn't look very good on camera. Yeah, it doesn't look good at all. But so I have, you know what? I'm going to hide the tattoo. Because I got a feeling I'm going to be talking about it soon. I don't want to give everything away. Okay, so outro tier. This is supposed to be, I think, the whole rap line, if I remember right. And hopefully this will help. It'll sound better for you. I can get the thump thump where my Hobie wants to Hobie out of my Hobie. Let's see what we get. Let's get it. Ooh, does sound better for me. Now I feel like I'm yelling. Oh. It's live. It's my second live.
이별은 내게 채워 나도 모르는 미래 눈도 위에 피어 쟤네는 주먹자 얘기들이 흐르는 일은 나 all the way to you 내가 넌 한때는 알지 하지만 이게 수많은 빌 내는 진작에 처음으로 모르는 심장을 스치는 좀 바로 내는 이별은 걸 칠뿐이 좀나 옆에서 오야만한 날 제가 뭔가 시간을 되돌려준다면 어쩜 내가 좀 더 솔직한 두 번째 생각 나만 아는 날금의 얼굴도 trouble 초라내 오래 버텨려 나를 보는 그 미소리 조절 이런다는 그는 또 사라지는 소리 숨 요요같은 소리 조금 많이 어쩌면 오늘 그제 있는 건데 야장이 있다면 I don't wanna listen to it 너 막소리 허물은 뭐 말은 왜로 I don't wanna listen to it 그냥 너무 무서웠어 좀 내가 너를 사랑했던 적이 아예 없는 늦었지만 넌 진실하다고 너만 나를 사랑했다고 You're my chick
Nice.
You're my chick You're my chick You're my chick What more can I say You're my chick 같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이고 영원히 많은 건 우리였는데 가차없이 서로를 무시는 같은 꿈을 끝나 생각했는데 그것만 빌어서 꿈을 내게 내 심장이 찢겨져 달아난 불쾌감으로 고통감이야 그 꿈을 돌아지 않게 좋았지 좋았지 You're my hair, you're my hair You're my feel, you're my feel What more can I say? You're my Yeah 이별은 내게 기회야 Oh no 눈물 따위는 사자 내가 좋든 아름다운 이별 따윈 I'm standing 이제 시작해 Oh take it easy 천천히 심장을 돌려줘 가는 길에 좀 깎인 나버린 파프미는 지를 밟아줘 매일 그 땅이 너는 남지 않게 가기 좀 밝혀버린 내 심장을 썩보일 해보죠 혹시 그래 거기야 뭘 막설은 네가 원하는 그 결말은 네 막살임 없이 어서 죽여주기 Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. 차원이 제마저 낚시하기 이게 진짜 너요 이게 진짜 나 이제 끝을 봐 원만 교환 마음 달덤도 못 깨고 나는 노는 가봐 이게 진짜 너고 이게 진짜 나 같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막이고 영원을 만들어 우리였는데 같이 서로를 부수는 같은 꿈을 그냥 생각했는데 그것만 빌려서 꿈을 내게 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 뭘 태워줘 고통감이야 그 꿈을 돌아지 않게 좋았지 좋았지 You're my hair You're my hair You're my feel You're my feel What more can I say 좋아 어떤 말이 내야 할지 우리는 알고 있지 정답은 정해 있는데 Say 내 답은 어렵지 왜 흘리지 꽂혀버리는 친구 소용없어 내게는 이별은 내가 그 순간에 flashback 네가 말해하는 순간 우리의 초점을 부딪히게 되는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간의 true 그때가 true 오게 I'm good I did you good 그런 말을 못해 다가와 앞으로 다가오려 근데 시작은 끝에 네 손 나의 만남은 단계 trigger 저기에 난 pulling a figure 못될 거야 너 밑에
Man, last part gave me chills. Holy, killing it. I want to hear that part again. Oh, man.
정답은 저기 있는데 내 답은 널 없지
Ooh, it came in early. Did you hear it? It was like on 3 instead of 4.
어떤 말이 내가 할지 우리는 알고 있지 정답은 저기 있는데 내 답은 널 없지 꽂혀버리는 친구 소용없어 내게는 이별은 내가 그 순간에 flashback 네가 말해하는 순간 우리의 초점을 부딪히게 되는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간의 true 그때가 true 오게 I'm good I did you good 그런 말을 못해 다가와 앞으로 다가오려 근데 시작은 끝에 네 손 나의 만남은 단계 trigger 저기에 난 pulling a figure 못될 거야 너 밑에
That was badass. I didn't catch all the lyrics, obviously, but what I did catch was really intriguing. It was like this, what's the word? I mean, it's not trajectory. It's not, use your words, buddy. It was like, at one moment in the beginning, they're talking about, you know, like, take it easy. Just scoop my heart out slowly. But then there was just this transition of, just rip it out. Just finish me off. Burn it. Never, oh.
내가 넌 한때를 날지 하지만 이제 수많은 빛 대는 진작에 처음으로 보는 심장을 스치는 좀 바람을
Oh. Ooh, man. His lyrics are so articulate, right? They're so like articulate is not even the word. They're so crunchy, right? I don't know why that was the word I landed on, but it's like there's vocabulary. They're like meaty. Like his lyrics are so substantial. My heart that's stained with belated self-loathing becomes empty even with the passing. Whoa, what? Words that are too correct or too much consolation. I don't want to listen to that. I was just so scared because it seemed like perhaps I had never loved you at all. Wow. You hear that scream, that guttural, just, that's, not everybody can do that. That's solid. That's perfectly placed too. If every single time he said, you're my tear or you're my fear, he did that voice, it wouldn't have the punch that it has. So the occasional use of it gives it that much more power. I'm telling you stuff you already know.
you're my champ. What more can I say? You're my friend. 같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막 끝. 영원히 많은 건 우리였는데.
Isn't that the truth? The brutal truth of relationships sometimes. Although we used to talk about forever, now we break each other without mercy. Man, if that's not the spectrum of the human condition sometimes. Wow. See, I've written my fair share of love songs. And that forever is just one of those words, right? It's just, that's what you do. I mean, whether it's love songs or if it's actually articulating to somebody that you love, like, yeah, we're going to be together forever. This feeling will never go away. But then as time progresses and you spend more time together and you are in more situations together and you end up seeing the best and worst of each other, that is just, it's not just romantic relationships, but relationships in general. The more time you spend with somebody, the more likely you are to see all of these different sides of each other. Although we used to talk about forever, now we break each other without mercy. Man, that is raw. My heart is torn. Please burn it instead, so that a pain and regret, none of that would be left. Finish me off. Okay, parting is to me a TAR. Tears are a luxury. I wonder if this is like a translational thing. Like if in the original language, if TEAR, right, in English, tears are a luxury, would have worked for English, but in Korean, right, would that have, is that what that is? Tell me. I'm not going to Google it. This is what family's for. Yeah. I mean, how many amicable breakups have you had where you're both like, yeah, okay, I think we had our fun. Let's see you later. And then that's it. Like, it doesn't usually happen. It's just this terrible thing that you just have to kind of grind through.
I'm standing to see the head. Take it easy. 천천히 심장을 돌려줘. 가는 그래 좀 깎이나 버리 팝을 밀어치는 밟아줘. 매일 그 땅이 너는 나 시작해. 가기 진짜 밝혀버린 내 심장을 썩보일 해보죠. 혹시 그래 거기야 뭘 막설은 네가 원하는 그 결말은 막설임 없이.
Now, I'm going to assume somebody said in the comments earlier that, like, from one thing that I should be aware of is that as I get into each of the individual talents, we're in the rap line this week, we'll be in the vocal line next week. It's easy to watch somebody's individual performance and assume that they did the writing or all the writing or whatever the case might be. But in some of them, for example, maybe there was help. Maybe Namjoon did some of the writing, or maybe Suga did some of the writing. I don't know. But it should be credited where necessary. Now, I don't know if I can keep up with all that as far as, okay, so this is so-and-so's song, but it was also written by blah, 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 blah. That's a lot for me. But all that being said, I'm just going to assume that Suga wrote this part, just for the sake of this. Knowing what I know about Suga and his personality of what I gather, right? He was the perfect one to sing this part. This might sound strange, but of the three of them, I put Junie as, he is, I don't know, he's just this, what's the word? You know what? I'll say it as simply as I can. Without defining all three of them in some way and compartmentalizing them, Sugar just seems to be the most raw, the most like blown open. At a moment's notice, he's going to tell you what he thinks, or he's going to just throw it out there and blah. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. This is my, I'm reaching at stuff, right? I'm gathering this. But I feel like of these verses, lyrically, he is the one that should be singing this. It just feels that raw. Like he's trying to keep it together in the beginning, but then at the end he's just like, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, 이별은 내게 기회야. Oh no, 눈물 따위는 사자 내가 쏟은 아름다운 이별 따윈.
See, and this part right here, there's still like some singing to it. There's still some melody. It's almost like there's still kind of hope. There's no such thing as a beautiful parting. So just get started now. It's like at this point, there was still hope that maybe we could do this gently. But then he just switches.
I'm standing just 시작해. Oh, take it easy. 천천히 스피드 돌려줘. 가는 거를 좀 깎이 나버리 팍 밀어치려 밟아줘. 매일 그 땅이 너는 남 시작해. 가기 좀 밝게 보이는 심장을 썩불 태워줘. 그래 거기야 뭘 막설하네. 네가 원하는 그 결말은 막설임 없이 어서 죽여주기. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. 차원이 제마저 낙지 이야기. 이게 진짜 너고 이게 진짜 나죠. 이제 끝을 봐. 원망도 원망.
Oh, I caught that. Wow. It's such a good line, according to this. Like, there's this whole story playing out. This whole story of the relationship and the way that we... Oh, man, this is really good, guys. This is really good. There's this whole story that plays out with... And I'm using the analogy of the relationship, of the romantic relationship, and it's happening, right? Where you go through, it doesn't work. You begin the process of tearing apart. And it's like you hope that it can be gentle and it doesn't have to be awful, but it ends up being that way a lot of times. And then there's that terrible portion of where you just hurt each other, right? But then this right here, once that smoke kind of clears and you're not just at each other's throats and you're not just being spiteful or whatever the case is, what's left? This is the real you and this is the real me. Now we've seen the end and not even resentment is left. Wow.
같은 곳을 향해 걸어서는데 이것이 우리의 마지막으로 영원을 만들어 우리였는데 같이 서로를 부수는 같은 꿈을 그냥 생각했는데 그것만 빌려서 꿈을 내게 내 심장이 찢겨져 차라리 뭘 태워줘 고통감이야 그 무엇도 남지 않게
Correct me if I'm wrong, some of you medical professionals. A torn heart. How do I put this? I feel like they're also kind of saying there's this next level of pain, of finalization of this. There's a torn heart, which on its own can just kind of heal and be whole again, I guess. But to burn it is just so final. It can't be hurt again. Okay, this last part, I want to point out, it's a live performance. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say there's a lot going on. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. The three of them kind of carouseling around and doing their parts, and even just the pyrotechnics and everything's great of what I can see. It's a lot of close-ups, but again, back to the crew. I don't mean the couch crew, no offense, but the crew working around the rap line. Even the camera work is on point. When we get into these harder pieces of the end, we start seeing these zooms and zoom outs and a lot of snaps and pops. We see more handheld motion, increasing the energy. See how it's soft? Steady.
What's your money the cheap? 소용없어 내게는 이별은 내게 그 순간에 플래시백 네가 말이 하는 순간 우리의 초점을 보고 지내지는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간의 truth 그때가 true 오게 I'm good I did you good 그런 말을 모두 다 겨워 보러 다녀 what you feel on the 시작.
Oh, I have not looked at these lyrics. Hobie, what are you doing?
What's your money the cheap? 소용없어 내게는 이별은 내게 그 순간에 플래시백 네가 말이 하는 순간 우리
Lift your lips the moment. Wow.
초점을 보고 지내지는 순간 모든 게 위험한 순간의 truth 그때가 true 오게 I'm good I did you good 그런 말을 모두 다 겨워 보러 다녀 what you feel on the 시작은 끝에 네 손 나의 만남은 나의 trigger 정의가 나 부르는 figure 못될 거야 너 밑에
And he's who should have sang that part. Brilliant. This is so good. Oh, man, I feel like I just blew through Junie's part. I gotta revisit that. But like, you look at the contrast between Suga's verse and Hobie's verse. Like Hobie feeling more emotional about it, or like not emotional, because even anger is an emotion, but it's almost poetic. It's a little more romantically poetic. There's no use, to me, parting is only that moment. Just that one moment. When? Here. The moment the words left your lips. And it's out there. There's no going back. Wow, this is so interesting. In the moment, everything was dangerous. Our end came in two characters. Is that them? Is that like it takes two to tango, poetically kind of thing? Everything was dangerous. Do you feel that line? Oh, man. I wish I hadn't cried. I wish it hadn't torn me. These guys belong on stage. I'm not just talking about these three. Everything that I watch, because I haven't heard anything new without visuals. If you haven't learned, I'm a very visual guy. But of everything I've seen, it just even more and more solidifies that these guys, all 7 of them, belong here, doing what they're doing. And the proof of that is this shot right here. This is just a small sample. I mean, look how big Army is. I think somebody told me it was like 90 million strong or something. That's proof. But look at the impact here. Again, a morsel of Army. So we're at 30 minutes-ish, so I should cut this off. But I'm not gonna yet, because I don't want to. So I'm gonna go back to Junie's part, and I want to kind of dissect his a little more. There was a wow there, but I haven't processed it yet. Goodbyes are, for me, a tear. Without even knowing, it blooms around my eyes. Without even knowing, like it's building in the background. The words that I could not bring myself to say flow down, and lingering regret crawls over my face. It's like it just bubbled out of you, and now it's out there. Again, point of no return, and regret crawls over my face. Point of no return. I know I don't have the right to say this yet, because I'm in this journey for like 3 weeks. These lyrics are Junie. Okay, at the end of my play, where breakup was a lie, the price that I had to pay came to me. If someone said they would turn back the time for me, would I have been able to be a bit more honest? Man, there is some regret here. You know what I would be really curious to know? Are these 3 different verses, again assuming that each one of them wrote their own verse, are they merely just lyrics that they're literally written for this, like, hey guys, we're writing a song, let's just write about, okay, I'm gonna write about regret, okay, Sugar, you're gonna write about anger and rage, and then Hobie, you're gonna write about sunshine and sadness, which is contrasting, you get the point. But they all kind of pick their thing. Or, and I so wish that this is the case, even though the theme of the song is all encompassing with the 3 of them, and the tier, right? The whole theme is the same. If each one of them are writing their own little experience of what they experienced at one point in their life, could it be that? Does he experience regret? And that's why this verse is the way it is, because when he thinks about not love, but like a relationship, a romantic relationship, where he thinks about an event that happened, I don't know, that he thinks about regret. And that's where this is coming from. And then Sugar, his whole thing is like he feels this anger. It's just gotta get out, and that's what his go-to is. The bare face that only I know, the ugly and pathetic old friends within me. Ooh. Would you still be able to love me again like before, with that smile with which you used to look at me? Ugh, it hurts. Man, this is like, it's it is the self-loathing. It's like I'm the problem. Could you ever love me again? Could you look at me like you looked at me before? Like I'm the problem. If I hadn't done this, or if I hadn't said this, if I weren't this way, you would still love me. Which is wrong, by the way. We should always be like evaluating ourselves. Like, you always want to try to be a little better. That's kind of how I view things. But to fester in this idea of, I would get more love if I just did this, or I would X if I just Y. And it's all like, I have to do this and I have to do that. We put all of this expectation on ourselves when we shouldn't. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's a whole incomplete thought. I'm going to cut that out. No, I'm not. I'm totally going to forget. Leave it alone. And here's the bubbling up anger. Had enough. Stop saying forever. I gotta see it again. Stop saying things like forever, forever, after all, the end.
What more can I say? You're my friend. 같은 것을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막 끝. 영원히 말한 건 우리였는데 다쳐 서로를 무시해.
It's like they're not even the same people. Like I'm thinking about J-Hope in Daydream, Chicken Noodle Soup, which just thinking about makes me so happy. But like they're different people, like these personas that they have where they can just morph into something else. This is incredible. My brain just stopped working. I was trying to
같이 꿈을 꾼다 생각했는데 그것만 빌어서 꿈을 내게 내 심장이 찢겨져 달아난 불쾌감으로 고통감이야 그 꿈을 돌아지 않게 조마치 You my hair You my hair You my feel You my feel What more can I say You my Yeah 이별은 내게 기회야 Oh no 눈물 따위는 사태 내가 좋든 아름다운 이별 따윈 I'm standing 이제 시작해 Oh take it easy 천천히 심장을 돌려줘 가는 길에 좀 깎인 나버린 파트 미르지를 밟아줘 매일 그 땅에 너는 나 시작해 가기 진짜 밝혀버린 내 심장을 썩보이 태워줘 혹시 그래 거기야 뭘 막설은 네가 원하는 그 결말은 네 막설임 없이 어서 숨겨주기 Yeah buddy Yeah buddy 차원이 제마저 낚시 이야기 이게 진짜 너 이게 진짜 나 이제 끝을 봐 원만 교환 나 달던 도망게 나는 노는 가 이게 진짜 너 이게 진짜 나 같은 곳을 향해 걸었었는데 이것이 우리의 마지막 끝 영원을 만들어 우리였는데 같이 서로를 부수는 같은 꿈을 그냥 생각했는데 그것만 빌려서 꿈을 내게 내 심장이 찢겨져 찬란히 불태워줘 고통감이야 그 무엇도 남지 않게 조마치 You my hair You my hair You my feel You my feel What more can I say 좋아 어떤 말이 내 알지
I'm going to say something really weird right now, and it might only hit one of you. But it's one of those things where if I don't say it and it didn't work, I would regret it. One of you is going through something like this. Now I know it's duh, right? Out of however many of you on the couch, somebody's going through a breakup. I got it. But if you have this song on your phone, on a CD, on a record player in your car, whatever, get in the car, go for a leisurely drive, and just start screaming these lyrics. And I mean, just let it out. Let it out. Just let it go. You'll feel better. We got to get that energy out, right? And however long this song is, 4 minutes, 43 seconds, whatever it is on your album, your phone, whatever, just get in there, press play, turn the volume up, get it out there, and for the whole song, just sit in it. Get it out, tears, and just get it out. I'm sweating. I'm listening to a song and sweating. Fun fact. When I first turn this on and I press play, the beat gets me. The quality's not great. This looks like, I mean, it says it's 1080. I don't believe that for a second. This was clearly shot on a potato. But this being a live performance, there's no choreography. It's just lyrically everything. And when I first press play and the beat's going, I'm like, okay, this is pretty good. I like it. It's catchy. I'm feeling it. It's got some emotion to it. But like, that's face value. I had a revelation today that ties into this. You notice that on these songs, and a lot of you tell me often, like, hey, and I get it because I keep saying, how am I going to react to this? What could I possibly decode out of this? And a lot of you are like, hey, just enjoy the art here. You don't have to decode everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, I got you. But my brain still thinks that way. I still want to decode stuff. I want to break it down, right? And I'm going to do that. I got it. But what's interesting about that is it's like at face value, you show this to somebody. You say, hey, look at how amazing these guys are. And you press play. And they're watching. And you're watching them. Waiting for this revelation to happen. And then it's done. No response. And they go, yeah, it's all right. And you're like, what? How do you not see this? Because they're just looking at face value. This little shallow level where it's just, yeah, it's three guys and they're singing and there's some fire in the background. No! You have to find the meaning. Frustrating that is. I think that's important. I think one of the reasons that I enjoy this so much is because I'm literally sitting here and I'm trying to find the meaning in everything. But think about how many times you've done that with BTS, but you haven't done it with something else that's going on in your life. Now, I'm not going all life coach on you, life coach on you. But you see what I mean though, right? You can sit here and watch butter melt for an hour, which I haven't seen yet. Don't know if I'll do a reaction on that one. Or you look for the little hidden messages and you just put all this energy into finding the meaning, like finding some purpose to what you're looking at. And it's almost like you can always come up with something. Right or wrong, you can always come up with something. Just like me. I decode these things and I am 100% sure that what I'm saying is perfect. And I'm usually a little off. And I'm okay with that. They're theories. It's fun. It's fun to break it down. But how apropos to know that, like for me, my joy, and I think a lot of you can relate to this, my joy comes from watching this and seeing things that you didn't see before, or having these moments of revelation, like, oh, I never noticed that. Like the green screen and moving wall in Dope. Smug. It's things like that you just never noticed before. And then there's this revelation. So it's like you try to break down and find the meaning in all of it. That brings me a lot of joy. It brings a lot of you a lot of joy. But what's to stop us from doing that when you're having this moment? And I don't mean like you're watching this video. I mean like you're going through this awful, awful time. And you're like, this is terrible. What have I done to deserve this? And you start just, the barrage begins. When in actuality, maybe you can, I don't know if you can see that. Can you read that? Be here now. Easier said than done. Way simplifies everything. Not going to work for a lot of you. But point being, you like try to find the meaning in it. At least just like slow down and stop putting it all on yourself. I don't know how I ended up on this tangent again. Once I start going, I just go. And I don't like these. I feel like I'm whispering. I'm probably not. I'm probably screaming into the microphone. But I feel like I'm whispering. I don't like it. But hopefully the sound was better for you. And again, I am sweating. I don't know what to do about that. I shouldn't be sweating. Literally just sitting here. And once again, I have managed to take a 4-minute and 43-second video with no choreography, not great resolution, and only 3 of them, and turn it into 47 minutes of hanging out with Roscoe. Again, you have not let me down. This was spectacular. But it's like, it's hit. See, for me, some of you might look at this and say, oh, well, I didn't really care about that performance. Hey, that's cool. Do you? Just like you know who would say to you. But for me, like I found the meaning. I found the meaning for me through those lyrics and like dancing between each one and how each one is different. And there's this different personality in each verse of like their character comes out in their lyrics and in their presentation of the lyrics. Love it. Haven't let me down yet. And I do have to wonder, what's going to be the first thing that I watch and go, it's got to happen. But what's it going to be?